Hey there you guys, welcome and welcome back. If you're new, this is the third part in my Met Gala series. If you've watched my previous videos, which I will link in the description down below, part 1 I worked on the underskirt, part 2 I worked on the overskirt, and in today's video I'm going to work on the bodice. So I was really inspired by the famous Dior petal dress. But I wanted to do something a little extra with the bodice, where I was inspired by Worth gowns from the early 1900s, I believe late 1800s. I was really inspired by all of the structure that was needed for these gowns. And so that's kind of where I was going with the mindset of having a part of the corset revealed, so it showed somewhat of a passage of time. Again, this is based off of the Met Gala theme for this year, which was Garden of Time, which was a story. Never actually read it, got the gist of it. This is what I decided to do. And I really liked the idea of both seeing time in a dress, but also seeing its structure and the way it got that way. And so I was heavily inspired off of Worth's gowns and Dior, because like my favorite designer. So I really wanted to implement both garden and time, but along with that, kind of referencing the actual exhibit, which was Sleeping Beauties, referring to more the show and history of a lot of garments that they have there, which are absolutely breathtaking, and it is still on my bucket list to go to the Met. Haven't gone yet, but would love to go in the somewhat near future, and maybe while I'm in New York, spending some time in the fabric district, because your girl really likes to buy fabric. Doesn't always make stuff out of it, but I like owning it. It's great. That and all of the trims, that would be incredible. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give it a like. This really helps the algorithm push my videos to new viewers, which really helps me out. Another way you can help me out is by buying me a coffee. This is a great way to support all of your favorite content creators. There's going to be a link in the description down below, which will describe a little bit more of what I'm talking about. But this is just a way for viewers to donate a couple bucks or buying us a coffee to support my content. So this allows me to buy the fabric and the trims and possibly patterns or even my editing software needed for these videos. So it allows me to keep up doing the things that I love and allows you guys to continue seeing new and, Lord willing, better videos. So in today's video, I'm going to be working on the bodice. Now, this is not very structured, but instead the bodice itself is just going to get connected to the corset, and I'm going to do that by hand. I need to make sure that the bodice fits my model's measurements, which are close to my mannequins but not exact. So I need to be going through and making sure all of that works. I also have to make the pattern, drape it, fit it, then start cutting out, doing mock-ups and all of that. Then I can start on the real material. I've already started the project and made some progress, so let's hop right into this. This is where I'm at with the bodice right now. This is just the mock-up, but I think it's looking pretty good. Once I sew it up, see that it fits properly, measure everything, make sure it's gonna fit my model, then I can start cutting out the fashion fabric. And I believe I'm gonna be doing either an interlining or a thicker material because my fashion fabric is still a bit sheer. And then I will decide if there will be an overlay fabric based off of the yardage that I have left. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Lord willing, everything will work out. Trust him. Know that it's all gonna turn out beautifully. It's so pretty. Let's get started. Mock-ups. I've got a few things more to fix. I'm gonna try to get these bubbles out of the front here, and I have to add some length to the top and figure out how I'm gonna attach the top, whether it's gonna be little gathers or tucks at the corset. And then in the back, I think I need to add some more length on both ends, top and bottom. All right, so here's mock-up number 3. And somehow it got worse. I don't know what I did, so I have to figure out what went wrong. I do know I changed the position of the darts. I might go back. I was trying to make them a little bit straighter, but I think they might be a little too close here. And it got a little too tight here, so I don't know why that is. And now the back won't even fully get to it without pulling it tight, and I just measured it and the waist is too small, so I'm going to take it apart and redo it, making sure I add some more room into the waist so it'll fit properly. On to mock-up number 4. Praise the Lord, it is coming together. After about 4 or 5 mock-ups, I think we're in a good place. There are a few adjustments that I still want to do left, but I think it's looking pretty good. From here, it's going to get taken apart and cut out for the final addition. No. Yes, addition. Addition, yes. ED. Addition. I'm thinking that I will do interfacing on the bottom because it's going to be right up against the corset. It really doesn't matter, and this dress is never getting washed. Ever. It's probably going to get worn for the reveal and then just put in a closet or bucket somewhere. If you would like it and you fit the measurements, let me know. So for now, I think I'm going to stick with doing an interfacing, then this white later, and then this sheer that I used for the petals. I saved some to do for the bodice because right now it's just too white next to the rest of the skirt, so I'm hoping that with an added overlay it should look a little bit better, Lord willing. And then once this bodice is all done, we can work on the shaped shoulder 3D doohickey thingamabob, but I guess we'll see. For now, I'm just going to take this off the mannequin, seam rip everything, make sure everything's marked up like the darts, and then I can start cutting out the final form. Let's go do that. Alright, so yesterday I didn't feel like filming much, so I did most of my work off camera. As you saw previously, I did end up tea dyeing or staining, I don't really know which one you would call it, the fabric, just because it's too bright of a white up against the rest of the dress. So I went ahead and did that. I ended up messing up one of the back panels, so I had to recut that out with interfacing, sew in the dart, re-dye it, wait for it to dry, then finally finish piecing everything together. I also was able to measure everything, make sure it will fit with all of this closed. So I'm going to put some hook and bars on the end of the placket, so it should cover up the corsetting in the back. Then, through many trials and error, this is what I came up with so far for the panel that goes on the side. Once this is done and I have it all figured out, more or less, I can cut out bias, finish the bottom. I should be able to start stitching the bodice to the corset. And it is only going to get stitched down to the waistline. At least the plan so far is to do like stitch in the ditch. I'm going to go get some more work done on this. It's really frustrating. I had it almost completely done. I had the bias tape put on. That was the previous scene. You watched me hand sew it. It was almost fully complete. I was very excited. And then I put it on the mannequin this morning trying to finish up placements, and it did not fit properly. And I don't know why. And so I decided to take it apart. So I did. I've reworked the darts. I'm gonna rework the front seam. I reworked the sides. It wasn't laying as smoothly over the waist and over this outer skirt. And so now that everything looks like it fits again, I think I'm gonna try reattaching the bias to the bottom and see if this works again. Lord willing, this will all work and I can get it done today. Now that I'm finally back, got everything pieced back together, bias is back in there, I've decided I'm gonna start by getting some hook and bars in. And I've got the bodice completely connected to the corset. Next on the list, this overlay. Wrong way. I think what I'm gonna do is the front, just put some bias tape on the bottom. The front is going to get snapped here, another snap up here. And in the back, this part is just gonna get connected to the inside of the bodice and corset here. And then the dress is done. I've gotten the shoes in, and the necklace says that it was delivered. So once this is done, I can package this all up and ship it out tomorrow. Yay! Almost there.